Meeting of Budget and Finance Commission of Redondo Beach Budget and Finance Commission is called to order at 6:30 p.m. in City Hall Council Chambers, 415 Diamond Street, Redondo Beach, California. If we can begin with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marin.
Here.
Commissioner Yessi.
Here.
Commissioner Shervin.
Here.
Commissioner Woodham.
Here.
Chair Allen.
Here.
We have Commissioners Samples and Ramcharan absent today.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we have approve order of the agenda. Do we need public comments now, or is it after?
It is after the
Approve order of the
consent
order?
calendar.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the order of the agenda, please?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Motion carried. We do not take public comments on this, correct? I don't know why I'm looking at something and it says public comments. Okay, we'll move on to item E, blue folder items. There are at least 2 blue folder items, I believe.
Yes, we have a total of 3 altogether. One was for the minutes. Another one was for, hold on, let me bring it up, for public comment. And then the third one was the Q3 revenues.
Okay, so we'll start with the first one, the public comment. I know we cannot discuss today, but does the committee wish to put it on the agenda so we can discuss next time? There's a suggestion from a public. Will you be able to have that on the screen, please?
Hold on one second.
And then I'm going to ask you to have the other one on the screen as well.
Okay.
Presentation mode. If you do presentation mode, it will show. Yeah, just press present. Yep. So our neighbor has some good suggestions, and I know we cannot discuss right now, but if you would like to discuss, we'll scroll down a little bit more. I want them to see at the end.
Oh, shit, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yes, thank you. So he just has suggestions if we want to look into this and or ask staff to maybe implement or use in August or in September. Our August schedule might be a little too busy, so we'll decide at the end of the meeting, either August or September.
So
Is that okay?
just as a reference, staff is scheduled to bring you back a summary of homelessness costs at our August meeting. So that's on the agenda. We're bringing that back for you.
So we can kind of piggyback.
Looks like a very valuable form.
Yeah. All righty.
Nice work.
Thank you for putting this together. So we'll look at it next time. Next item on the blue folder was the minutes.
Yes.
So give me a moment. I thought I had this.
So Sorry, Erin, just for clarification, do we take public comment on the blue folder items or do we take public comment on the consent calendar?
Consent calendar.
Public comment is in the part for non-agenda items.
Got it.
So for blue folder, we just want them to basically receive and file.
Okay, and then move on to the consent calendar.
Right, correct.
So for this one, okay, so this is the addendum. So the reason I asked for this to be in a blue folder is so that everyone can see it. And a little bit later, when we get to minutes, we'll discuss it. But I want to make sure we don't receive and file this because this is something I want to bring up during minutes.
What we can do is
Because
when you do the approval of the
This is part of the minutes.
Yeah. When we do the consent calendar, if you want to move item F2 to discussion before action or items continued from previous, I think it's items for discussion prior to action. We can move it to there and then you can have a full discussion.
Perfect.
And then for the blue folder item, you still need to receive and file because you have to accept the item coming in after the agenda is posted.
Sounds good. Thank you. And then okay, so we'll discuss this at the minutes. And then the third item was, I asked Stephanie to send Q3 revenue when last time we were discussing and we couldn't see the actuals versus what was budgeted. And again, we cannot discuss because this was not on the agenda, but for us to look at the numbers. Actuals received. So for example, I know we can discuss, but just to give you an idea of why I asked, the other ones,
I can make it a little bit smaller so you can see the year.
So I think what you had asked for is a comparison with the prior year to show kind of, as we normally do, you should recognize this format to show kind of the periodicity or the flow of how we receive the revenues. So we just put this in the format that you're used to seeing it in so we could share it with you. And again, yeah, we're not allowed to discuss it, but we wanted to present for receive and file.
yes. And this, yes. And then we can, if we have questions on this, you're going to present act for next time, and then we can maybe ask questions on this then?
Yes, you are more than welcome to.
So
It will be, I mean,
next
it's
time?
Q3 revenues, which will have been far past by that point, but yes, you're definitely welcome to. We could put it on the agenda if you'd like to see it.
Thank you. When will you present a Q4?
So Q4 will actually probably present in September or early October, right before we do our carryover report, just because it's the end of the year. It takes a little bit longer for us to get all the revenues in. You'll get the treasurer's quarterly report next month, but we learned last year our data is not really good enough to give you a good report. So I think we'll look at either September or, again, early October for the next quarterly report. So if you look at this and you have comments on the format or additional detail that you'd like to see specifically for the revenues, we would love to hear that before our next report so that we can incorporate it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm already getting too far into discussion.
All righty, thank you. So can I have a motion to receive and file blue folder items, please?
Yeah, so move.
Any seconds?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, let me go back to my agenda. Consent calendar. So for consent calendar, I'd like to pull F1 to vote on it separately and then discuss F2. Can we vote on F1 now, or do we need public comments first on F1?
Public comments would be after we approve the consent calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, do we need a motion to move F2? Or they just move that?
Yeah, we just need a motion to move F2 to items for discussion prior to action.
Well, it's on a consent calendar. If I want to pull something out of consent calendar to discuss, we don't need a motion for that.
So the consent calendar is basically you just approving those two items as is. But if you want to pull something for discussion, you would say, I want to pull item F2 to items for discussion prior to action, because you still need to take action on it.
And then, and approve F1?
Yes.
In that same motion?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Can I have a motion to pull F2 and then approve F1, please? F1 is affidavit of posting for regular budget and finance commission meeting.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All oppose? None, motion carried. So now we're on G, excluded consent calendar items, I guess that would be. So there are 3 items, 3 minutes to approve. One is from the special meeting, the other one is from May 8, and the other one is from June.
Oh, are we doing public comment right now, or?
Do we discuss before public comment?
We do public comment on non-agenda items first, and then we could go into the items from continued or previous agendas.
Okay. Are there any public participation on non-agenda items?
Let's see. There are no public comments and no person on Zoom, but we do have 2 speakers who are present here. Jim, did you want to go? Oh, Jim, did you want to go first? Our treasurer will go first.
My card was to speak about the consent calendar item, but I will speak to the non-agenda.
So if he's speaking on consent item, then
Right now, I'm
it is.
speaking about the non-agenda item.
Yes.
That's the part of the meeting where we are.
Yes, and we move that into I?
You
That
moved one consent agenda item
Into where?
into your items for discussion for prior to action, J, section J.
Okay, so in order for us to discuss minutes, we have to discuss in J?
It should have been discussed on the consent calendar.
Yeah,
It should have been discussed at that time.
Right, we need to discuss on a consent, yeah, that you don't move that
The
to
consent
J.
calendar item gets pulled. It should be discussed pulled as part of the consent calendar.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we can
That's
do,
how I see it. That's how I've seen it done.
okay, we could do it that way.
Okay.
So do you,
So we discuss, okay, so is it okay I start discussing the consent calendar or item F2?
yeah, we could do
For the
item F
minutes.
too.
Okay, thank you. So at the last meeting, I made a mistake, and I'm going to read what I said. Regarding the minutes, I said that the treasurer mentioned that revenues were declining, and because of that, he was unable to invest longer than 2 years. And the treasurer, I went back and looked, the treasurer did not say revenues were declining. He did not say the word declining anywhere. I went through the exchange that we had, and the blue folder item, if you would please pull that blue folder item again, the second one. So I went and I transcribed our exchange with my exchange with the treasurer, and I want to show what he said, but nowhere he said there was going to be a decline in revenue. So if you pull down, so this is the entire conversation. I just, in case somebody needed a context, I just wrote down everything. And this is straight from the video. On the very top, I had the link to the video and where I began to transcribe. If you go down, and let me also find my notes. And just to remind everyone, perfect, thank you. So at that video, 5612, Treasurer Solomon said the reason is in part that the conversation began because I was asking why we aren't investing for longer than 2 years, since doing so could allow us to lock in higher yields and generate greater returns. And that's how this conversation began. And he said the reason in part, so the yellow highlighted ones are the ones that pertain to the revenue. We stayed shorter in cash flow need. So it's been the budget cycle as an example. City manager has described it as a bridge year for us, and we'll be releasing budget next week for charter. You'll see some of the revenue. I don't know if it is for charter. That's what the caption said. You'll see some of the revenues are relatively, so he's saying the revenues are relatively flat. He's not saying they declined. And there is some uncertainties. And he says he felt to be imprudent considering to invest longer term, considering our cash flows need at this time. So to me, he shows a concern for the revenue. He's not saying there's going to be a decline. And then he says, if the revenues that we're expecting come online, we should be okay and we'll be able to then reinvest out longer. But there is uncertainty. Again, he is just talking about uncertainty, economic uncertainty on macro basis and uncertainty within the city itself. Some of the projects that we had hoped would come online for revenue sources, like Legato Hotel, for example, have taken a little bit longer to come online. We had the Marine Avenue hotels, which were not paying us our TOT for a period of time. So while we were waiting for FAR, our authority funded reserve to be refreshed to the level to which we would begin receiving TOT. So he's not saying there is a decline, the date of that uncertainty. And you scroll down a little bit more. So while revenues are either future predictive, uncertain, or currently uncertain, we haven't been going out longer. So in that event that we had an access to those funds in a shorter period of time, he does not use the word decline for the revenues. So here's when I'm like, oh, we're in a little bit of trouble. And he says some of the future revenues haven't come on as quickly as we had hoped they would. Again, he's not saying they've declined, but they have not come on as quickly. If you can go down a little bit more, Erin. With regard to macroeconomic trends, we're looking this year at seeing tourism be down. So we're wondering whether or not the 25-26 fiscal year, we might have some of the money trailing in. But then for those delays in 26-27, they may not be available to us, or it might be reduced. Again, he's not saying they have declined. He's saying it might be reduced. So we don't want to go out for 5 years, and I had the timestamp there also. So we don't want to go out for 5 years when we might see a need for that in 18 months to 2 years. With regard to property taxes, you have lots of folks that are going to be in Palisades, Altadena, and we get our property taxes as part of a pool, the LA County pool. So those funds could be reduced. Again, he's not saying they've declined. He's saying could be reduced. We won't see that. That'll be on trailing basis, perhaps in 12 to 18 months, where we'll see the impact on that. So we're staying a little bit shorter to be in position to be able to address that potential shortfall. So he's talking about potential shortfall, not they have declined. I think that's that was the end of my highlights. So I wanted to clear it up since it was a public meeting where I said that the treasurer said revenues have declined. He did not use the word declined, and I wanted to clear it up and tell you verbatim what was said. Now, before we prove that this is when the public comments?
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right.
our treasurer can come
Does
back up.
anyone on the commission have any comments? If not, then we'll welcome the public comments. We got the process done.
Thank you, Chair Allen, members of the commission, city staff, Eugene Solomon, Redondo Beach City Treasurer. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this issue. And the only issue with regard to this tonight, as the chair expressed, was the language, the attribution within the minutes, the draft minutes, that I had stated that our present or past revenues had been declining, which I had sought to have corrected. And that is my only reason for appearing for you here today. I appreciate the chair coming forward with these transcripts to demonstrate that language was not used and ask that the minutes be corrected in the way in which the transcript reads, rather than the attribution that I stated they were declining at the time. Thank you.
Thank you. For the minutes, the part that I said, I think I did say that. I didn't go back and look, but I'm sure I said that. Well, that, I believe that probably will stay in minutes because I said it, or do you take out because I said something that was not correct?
I don't think we could take it out per se, but since we have it here where we're, I want to say, amending that to add this, I guess you could also make a motion to amend the.
Well, I have
Or
to
just make a
amend
note.
what I said.
Or just make a note
Yeah.
to the minutes that there was an improper
Yeah.
miscommunication or
Later,
misunderstanding.
yeah, later, like it may be in parentheses or something that later.
Yeah,
Jasmine
I could
said.
talk with the city clerk's office how we could correct this situation because they also are responsible for doing the minutes. So they would tell us best how to
Address it.
amend or
Okay,
fix
yeah.
this.
Because the minutes is the only, like, for example, the mayor, he only reads the minutes. People don't go and watch the videos, so it is important that the minutes are accurate. And now, for the minutes that was summarizing that meeting, I don't think it said anything about decline in revenue. That treasurer,
I think a lot of times,
I looked and I didn't see it.
yeah, for minutes, they often say,
Okay.
because they're summarizing, they often say it was discussed or they continued this conversation. I would have to go back and double check to see if
I
it's
looked and it was
specified.
not. So it was just my word. Okay, so it was just mine.
Just a little clarification, if I can. Now, that meeting took place, the minutes address that meeting and memorialize that meeting. Now, if something happened during that meeting that was incorrect, later determined to be incorrect, wouldn't that just be the subject matter for the current meeting that you are actually saying that
Yeah,
there was a
so it
misinterpretation?
would also be a part of
So I
this
don't
meeting's
understand what
minutes.
the amendments would be to a prior meeting unless somebody made a mistake in the transposition of the meeting itself.
I think maybe the issue here was that the initial minutes did not reflect that statement, and Chair Allen requested that we revise the minutes, amend them specifically to reflect that Eugene said that City Treasurer Solomon said the revenues were declining. So I believe the amendment included that.
Stephanie, if you would please, this is our meeting. Hold on one moment. That is, okay, so let me.
I
I'm going
truly
to-
apologize.
Can we just let Stephanie finish and then you can go ahead
because
and
I
do
don't like other people saying things that I did not mean to say. When I was saying that, I did not mean for some, I was just.
You'll have an opportunity to say that, but let's let
summarizing.
Stephanie
But it's,
finish.
but that's not, I don't appreciate that.
I truly apologize. I was not trying to make any comment at all. I really was not. So I apologize for whatever that statement was. I was just saying that the amended minutes we brought back today, I believe, did reflect that correction. So that's the only thing I was saying. But
Can
we
you
can
open
figure
up
out
those
how to,
minutes?
we can figure
Can
out
you
how
open up
to
those minutes,
adjust it,
please?
if so.
So those are the minutes from May 8? Yeah, May 8 minutes.
Hold on one
And there's a part, because I looked specifically for it, and so when I was saying it didn't have the treasurer's part where we were discussing the decline of revenues, I was kind of summarizing all of this that we were discussing, not specifically that he was saying there was a decline. Just the overall theme of the revenues, it didn't look good. They weren't on par of what we were expecting. And that's what I had meant to convey, because that was not conveyed in the minutes.
Hopefully I didn't pass this section yet.
You could do a control search for the word
Yeah,
decline.
I looked for it and I didn't see. Commissioner, regarding plans with potential mismatch between decline in short-term rates that was pushed down. If it's there, it should be right on this page, which pushed down income and high inflation, which current high inflation, longer time balancing. Where, what, I don't see, where is it?
I think it's towards the bottom, the last paragraph.
The last one, okay.
Oh, is it here?
Okay, so instead of declining revenues, it should be a different wording. Because he was. So that's the wording that needs to be fixed. I'm glad we looked.
So we need to amend the revised minutes for May 8th.
Yeah. So, I mean, the words that they can use, they're highlighted on the addendum that I put together that, it might be reduced.
Or provide your,
Could be reduced.
I think,
Potential shortfall, that's on page 4 of the addendum.
oh, okay. I think we can also, I'll still check with the city clerk to see what the proper protocol is, but I think it would be to add like your blue folder item as a maybe attachment, but I'll have to check to see what the appropriate
Okay, so instead of
processes.
declining revenues, he actually said might be reduced, funds could be reduced, and potential shortfall.
My other thought on this is that this is still a draft, so we could ask the city clerk's office to still revise this one and bring it back or have it approved as revised.
Okay.
So I still have to talk with her, so I'll run it past and ask her what we should do next.
Okay, well, I said decline in the previous meeting. I'm owning it, and I'm showing exactly what he said. So anything else from the committee? Would you like to make a motion to fix and approve, or?
Or do we need to put it on hold for you to investigate the best way to approach the situation?
Correct.
Okay, so we can hold
Should we just table it?
off May 8 to a different date. What about the other two items? Minutes. One from special meeting and one from June 12. And I know there was a problem with the link. I don't know if you got a chance to see the minutes. If not, we can table it for the next time. It is up to the commission. Well, no one's making a motion, so I'm going to say let's then table it for the next time.
Yeah, bring them all back at the same time.
Bring it all back, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So bring all the minutes back? Okay.
I don't think anyone had a chance, because the link initially wasn't working. I don't think anyone had a chance to look at it.
And I didn't have the context of what we were going to be discussing in regards to it, so
Okay.
if we could talk about
And,
it at the next meeting, that'd be great.
okay, sorry, who was the first and second for the motion?
Motion to bring,
I think I was second. I don't know if you were first. Or two, oh, actually, there was no motion. I'm
There
sorry.
was no motion.
That's fair.
Can we do a quick one, please?
Can we have a motion to bring it back next time, please? All of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carried. All right, let me go back and find my agenda. So we are on public participation. Is there any other public participation?
Hold on one second.
We are on item I.
Item H, but hold
Item
on,
H.
let me
Or
review.
are there any e-comments and emails received from the public?
No e-comments and no Zoom, no comments on Zoom, no e-comments, but we do have
did you
a
want to-
comment in person. But this is for item H, correct?
Yeah.
This is for item H. So no public comments on non-agenda items, so you can move to item. Oh, did you have? Yeah, it has H. So did you want to wait for section H? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Go
we are
ahead.
on- we are on it. We're all over the place today, sorry.
Good evening. It's, you know, it's always a wonder to me how important the budget and finance is to the city. And this room is empty. I don't understand that. But anyway, I'm hoping, since I sent the blue folder items, the template for analyzing homeless and financial data, because I want to be helpful. I'm not trying to, you know, make trouble or anything like that. I think that this is a very important thing to understand. And I tried to use a report format customary in financial analysis called sources and uses of funds. And the reason I did that is because there are, of course, multiple uses, but there are also multiple sources. And matching them up can be important to understanding the financial condition of the program. Okay, so now.
Could we see it projected on the screen as you're talking about it?
It's
No, that's okay, that's okay. You don't need to do
blue
that.
folder item 1.
Because I want to talk about how to get the data. And I also included in the blue folder a procedure for the city to use a facility in the financial system that they use, Munis, I believe we use Munis, in order to extract data from the Munis database into an Excel spreadsheet. And there is a specific procedure that Munis and Excel have accommodated. Now, I'm no expert, and I don't say it's plug and play. I'm just suggesting that if the finance department and the IT department and the Munis vendor work together, they might create a procedure for extracting the data. And it may also reduce the amount of manpower that the finance department has to expend. The city's budget document isn't very useful for these kinds of analysis, even though there is verbiage about projects and responsibilities in the budget document. But these are without costs assigned to them. The decision packages, as far as I can see, contain broad total net cost of each project. But there's no cost-benefit data to evaluate them that I could find. Analysis by project and program is useful in decision-making and policy-making because without visibility of the financial dimension of these activities, the city runs several risks. 1, the inability to assess a program's cost-benefit performance. 2, runaway absorption of resources. And 3, questionable sustainability. Other cities have experienced one or more of these problems, especially with regard to homeless activities. And Redondo is not immune. You can see from the spreadsheet template that I included that the homeless program uses resources from at least 4 different departments. Most of the resources are part-time or split use, like the participation of police, fire, public works. The homeless program is funded from several different sources, and the budget document doesn't break these out by program or project. In putting together the spreadsheet template that's in your blue folder, I used a 2022 document that
You ran
spells
out of time.
24 seconds.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I used, yes, thank you. I used the 2022
24
document.
seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you have time.
I used the 2022 document that spells out what resources the homeless program needs. And that's how I came up with the items on the left side of my little spreadsheet. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Ready?
You having a rough day today.
Doing great, Aaron. You're doing great.
Sorry.
Good evening, members of the commission. Again, Eugene Solomon, Redondo Beach City Treasurer. A little something different for us tonight. From me, as all of you, I think, know, I'm sitting where you were, and I really value the work that the commission do here in the city. And there's been a lot of consolidation lately and changes within the commission structure. And I want to remind everybody of what great things we can accomplish as a Budget and Finance Commission, and our participation here with the city staff, myself, and you all. Remembering when I first got on in 2017 and talking about our contracting, and Charter Amendment 19, or Charter 19, ended up getting changed by a charter amendment to dramatically improve our contracting within the city. Talking about creating, and at the time was controversial, the subcommittee to discuss our CalPERS debt, and then eventually being able to refinance our CalPERS debt down from 7% down to 2.8%. A really great accomplishment. Being able to dig into some of the things that you're digging into now with regard to budgets and all of those things. My predecessor often was a bit combative with the commission, and I had made a promise to myself not to do that. And I hope that I've lived up to that promise so far. I wish to continue to do that, to improve the transparency and to avoid any notion of combativeness between us or among us. But there will be times where we disagree. And there will be times where you all make suggestions and I make decisions. And then you may disagree with those decisions, but I hope we do that in a congenial way and understanding each other's positions when we do that. And going forward, committing to or continuing to commit to having those conversations in an open, transparent, and fluid way that is not combative. So when we compare other cities, when we compare other items within the city itself, within Redondo Beach, whether we're talking about homelessness, whether we're talking about our budget, whether we're talking about CalPERS or whatever it is, to continue to act in a manner in which we respect each other and that those conversations that we're having are done in a productive way. And I commit to doing that, and I hope all of you will commit to doing that as well, because I think you have good ideas. And we've already adopted some of the ideas. Chair Allen had the idea of joining the JPA for camp. And we did that, and it's been a great resource for us. So continue making suggestions, but with the understanding that we as the staff, me as the treasurer, we're going to take those suggestions, we're going to consider them, but we will make the decisions, but continue to make those. And I know that many of those suggestions will be implemented, and you'll contribute greatly to the city in improving our processes and our transparency and everything about it. So thank you for your volunteerism. You don't get paid to be here, and thank you for continuing to serve.
Wait a minute, we don't get paid?
I didn't. Did you? Did I miss something?
I just have one comment. What you say, we totally agree with it. The only thing I would like to suggest is, if we make a suggestion, you disagree with it, or you decide not to implement it, at least tell us, why our suggestion is not effective enough, or not good enough, or not practical enough. So at least we know if we're, just not making any sense, or if it's too far left or right, and it's just impractical.
I think it's fair to ask for an explanation as to how the decision was made, and I commit to that.
That's all I'm saying.
I do want to say is when I ask questions, it's more about me to learn so that I can know where I can help. Otherwise, I don't know. So on May 28th, when I saw that, and you said that you don't feel comfortable.
I apologize. We can't get into a discussion about it.
But
I will be back next month.
When I see a yellow flag, that's why I was asking those questions. I wasn't asking those questions because I wanted to poke.
I think this will be a great discussion for us to have in August.
But we ask questions because we have to know in order to suggest something.
Understood.
That's why we ask questions.
Let's talk about it in August.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any online? No online, you said, correct?
No other online or Zoom comments at this time.
All righty. Item I, items continued from previous agenda. So item I1 and I2, they're for the next meeting. We just held it on the agenda so we don't forget. So can we just table it to the next meeting, or is there anything you would like to discuss? So this is the item that Jesse from CIP was going to come and present.
Can I make one comment, please? I actually did include here to share with the commission, if you're interested, the CIP template that Commissioner Yeste had put together. So this is on here because the commission had asked to us to share it and look at it. If you're interested in looking at it, we can pull it up and discuss your
Yes,
thoughts on it.
please. Would you please?
Jesse from Reyes from the Public Works Department is planning to come. I think he said tentatively August, it may be September, to actually present numbers on this, but Commissioner Yeste, I think you did a good job putting this together if you'd like to. So it's up to the commission, but that's why we included it with this.
I just would like to add one more comment. If possible, if you can add one more column to show number of bids received, because that's one thing that I realized will make a big difference. If only one contractor bids, then obviously we need to dig into what they're charging. So that's one thing I would like to suggest.
I'll pass along that note, and I have shared this template with Mr. Reyes. I think he will likely add some detail to this, but I think it's a good, helpful guide for us to understand what the commission's looking for. And I'll take the number of bids. I think that's a good point.
Just one number. We don't want to know what the names of the bidders are and all that.
Yeah.
Just how many bid for this job.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion to table it for next time?
That'd be great.
Can I have a motion to table it for next time, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Motion carried. We are on J, items for discussion prior to action. I don't think we have any items to discuss. Item K, commission member items and future commission agenda topics. So next time on the agenda, hopefully we'll have Jesse. And then will we have homelessness from Finance Department?
Yes, we will. So for our August meeting, we will definitely have the homelessness numbers. I'll check in with the Public Works team to see their timeline. They said August or September. Prior to that, I would like us to have a special meeting for our annual financial report. As soon as we have that, I would like to call a special meeting to have you review it as soon as possible. I did share some dates that are available. We're currently holding all of those, and I appreciate the Commission's responsiveness for those. So if anyone has a preference, you can just email me. But again, we expect to have our final document in the next week or so. Once we get that, if it's sufficiently prior to the August date, I'll send out an email and see if I can confirm your attendance for a special meeting.
Is there a reason that we need to have it presented to us ASAP, like we can't wait 2 more weeks?
The reason I would like to do that is because I would like to finalize it and submit it everywhere as we are late in getting it complete. It's important for us to share. So I would ideally, again, if it's going to be a difference of a few days, I'm not going to make the commission show up for another meeting. But if it's sufficiently in advance, I'll send out a request and you're free to let me know your availability.
Does it make sense to discuss that availability now that we're all here, or is it better to do via email?
Sure, yeah. So I had sent out some dates. I think the majority.
So they were all last week of July. I
Yes.
am not going to be here that week. I'm not at all.
So the week of the 28th, is that what you're saying?
Yes. And I'm sorry you didn't get the dates. I should have
No,
sent.
I have them, I just don't remember them off the top of my head.
I see, okay. I don't either, so I will pull them up.
But I'm available that week, I don't know
second.
about anyone else.
Yeah,
You are
I'm
available?
available too.
I can be.
I did have 3 confirm for 3 of those dates.
Okay.
So for quorum, we would need 1 additional person. But I can.
I can make
So
it.
are they, are you confirmed or he
I
was
hadn't
not
confirmed
confirmed?
previously, so I can, which day, just any of the, which days of that week, I apologize, because I just don't have the email.
No, and I apologize too. I should have had
No,
these
You sent them to me, I just don't
up
remember.
for us. And I unfortunately sent so many emails to this commission on Monday.
Got you. And I can always email when I get home.
I think
Hold on, let me pull it
I'll
up.
be available on 28th. I think I mentioned to you 29th and 30th. I think.
Okay, so July 24, 29, 30th, and 31st.
Thank you.
July 24th,
Yeah, 30th or 31st would be better.
and
For
then
me.
29th, and then 30th, 31st. I might be able to do 30th, 31st, but I am not going to.
I could do 30th and 31st.
You could do 30th and 31st. And I'm sorry, Chair Allen, I missed what you had.
I might
your
be able
dates.
to.
The 30th and the 31st?
30, yeah.
Okay.
That's an MRI Thursday. I would prefer, hold on, give me,
Yeah, and I believe.
Wednesday. I would prefer Wednesday,
The 30th.
30th, if that's,
Yeah.
everyone else is okay.
And I believe Commissioner Sherbin, you preferred the 24th, if I'm remembering correctly?
I preferred those, but I would also be able to attend them if they was either the 30th or the 31st.
Okay, and I think Commissioner Woodham, you were unavailable the 30th and the 31st, is that correct?
Right.
Whichever we have.
But that
bigger
would get us to quorum. So, and again, if it's, close enough to your August date, I will not force you to suffer through another meeting, or I will not add to your
2 weeks
enjoyment
away.
of another
So
meeting.
that's 2
Thank
weeks,
you.
right?
Exactly, so 2 weeks,
2 weeks
to me,
is-
I would
if
love to
that
get it
matters, then
done.
it matters.
Love to get it to council, love to send it all out, and again, really appreciate your patience and flexibility.
Save.
So it looks like the 30th and the 31st are the best dates for availability. I will note that, and I'll send a confirmation once we know of the date.
So the next meeting is August 14. Yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Any other items we need to put on a calendar? I know you had something that you wanted to put on the calendar about the deferred compensation or CalPERS. When do we want to put that on a calendar? And I know you're going to leave soon too, so September is your last meeting. Want to make sure we put that before you leave?
Well, it may not be my last meeting.
September?
Yeah.
Does your term end?
I've applied for another 4-year term.
Oh, I thought it was your second term.
No.
Oh, okay.
I had
Never
a
mind.
2-year and then a 4-year, and according to the regs, I can do
Another 2
4-year
years.
terms. So
Yes.
I'm eligible for another 4-year term.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be great.
Has to be approved yet, so I've asked for it, haven't gotten a response.
We'll vote you in.
No, the issue on retirement issues, Stephanie is working on that. What we want to do is go back at least 5 years and pull out the expense that we pay for retirement. So the normal payment to CalPERS, the payment for UAL, and what we have now, the debt service on the bond issue. So all 3 of those things compared to the total budget gives us an idea of whether retirement benefits are increasing as a percent of the budget or decreasing. So the suggestion was just to go back and get those. And I think the comment from Stephanie was we can easily do it for 5 years. We can decide whether we want to go further back. As you know, many municipalities now are not being able to do streets, parks, and other amenities because of the increasing burden of retirement. So I don't know, I don't have no idea whether we're there or not, but it's something that we need to keep an eye on, just as we want to keep an eye on the homeless issue.
Okay.
That's an important issue going forward, so.
Would you like to bring it and discuss as an agenda item?
Well, I think we need to have the input first, so I don't know where Stephanie stands on that data. Once we get that data, then it can become a discussion item, but
Okay.
we
So we'll wait
don't need to do it
hear
yet.
from, finance. And then did you guys want to discuss your articles that you sent?
If we have time, yeah.
I mean, this is the shortest meeting.
Yeah. I can give my 3 minutes worth.
Would you be able to pull up?
This might take a few minutes. I have it saved in a different folder.
Erin, if you switch it over to me, I can pull it up.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I believe, and I hope you have read this story. It's a fascinating story. And I lived in Fort Wayne for 6 years before I moved back to Redondo Beach. And I also have gone through lots and lots of training on the TQM, on the Lean and Six Sigma, and the Dr. Deming philosophy and methodology for process improvement. And I've done this for about 30 years in 3 different companies. And I can say, based on my first-hand experience, that it works magic. And it's not rocket science, it's common sense. And when you get the whole team to buy into change, it produces dramatic results. And I can give you more specific details if you're interested, but right now it suffices to say that the one paragraph in the article, the page 1, it says, none of the previous quality methodologies have infiltrated public agencies in any degree. And that is really true even for private sector, because it's always the why rock the boat, it's not invented here syndrome. And people, once they get comfortable in their positions, they really don't want to change anything because fear of the unknown. So there are several factors. And the Deming philosophy really goes down to one simple principle. You talk to the people who own that process or who are devoting all their time to it. They are the ones who will be the best people to tell you how it can be streamlined, how it can be simplified, how it can be improved, and how you can take some steps out of the process. So you bring them along with you as a part of the team, and you have to initially go through some training. This article goes into a lot of details about the TQM and all the quality improvement training programs and green belt and black belt. I did all this without this background. Even though I had the training in it, I didn't impose the training on the staff. I just sat down with them, got them to first change their mindset, because initially I had people so determined to keep things going the way they were that I had a lot of pushback. And since I was the head of the department, they didn't have a choice. They had to agree. 2 years later, they were the ones who came back and said, well, I'm so glad you did it because it has simplified everything and it has made a huge difference in the profitability and the customer service quality, tremendous difference. And in the and I've noticed this with our own city administration. For over a year, I've been asking for data, and the key is getting data. and then analyzing it. Those are the two things that we need to do. Then only we can figure out where the problem is, where the bottleneck is, and where there is waste or duplication, redundancy. Those are the things we can discover only when you get the data and you do the analysis. Without that, really, you cannot decide which way to go. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you have the other option. You get some technocrat with a chainsaw, and he will start cutting and slashing department, chopping heads off, and declaring a victory. That's what is happening at the federal level. That's not the right approach. So this works, believe me, it works. But in order for it to work, we're only consultants, advisors. We don't have any power, authority to force some change. That has to come from the top. In Fort Wayne, succeeded because of the mayor. He was the CEO of the whole city's administration, and he forced some changes. Some people were reluctant, but those who got trained, they bought into it. So it has to start with the mayor, the city council, and then the heads of the department, like director of finance, the city manager, head of police, head of fireworks. So all these things will happen only if there is a commitment, unwavering commitment from the top. We can only suggest things, we can help you, but that won't mean anything if there is no interest in following up. So please read the story, share it with other people. There are resources. You have amazing things in the technology, the AI tools. I've been using the Chat GPT, and I'm just flabbergasted at how it does so many things so quickly. First time when I tried this process improvement technique, it took me 3 weeks to get the data and do the analysis. I had to do it manually. Now, I think you can get it in 3 minutes. That's the difference. So you got the tools, you got the technology. What you need is a change of mindset and commitment and determination to improve. But I bet you anything, the budget deficit you have, it will be more than offset by the savings that you are going to find in this. That's my 3-minute pitch. Thank you.
Did you want to discuss, Commissioner Woodham, did you want to discuss the article that you had sent, or tell us what it was?
Sure. There was an article that appeared in the Wall Street Journal. I think it also was on NBC News, and that was forwarded to the finance office. And just a couple of comments on that. The article is focused on retirees forming an ad hoc association or group to sort of shadow CalPERS and raise questions. I think that's a good idea. We've seen that CalPERS is certainly willing to sit down and discuss what they're doing. They're not as free with their time and ability to do that as I've seen in other places, but they're willing to do that. The point of the article was 2 or 3 points to be made. One was that there will be a group that will follow CalPERS and provide information on that. They make some comments in the article. The author makes some comments to a certain extent disparaging CalPERS from the standpoint of fees. They claim the fees are too high. They also make some negative comments on the private equity portfolio. And when you look at that, their private equity portfolio for the last 20 years has returned 12% compared to 7.7% for public equity. That's 430 basis points higher for private equity. I would like to see lower fees. Everyone would like to see lower fees. But if I get 430 basis points higher after fees, then I can justify that. I can say that's fine. And that's what they've done. So I think to a certain extent, the article's comments were misplaced. They also made we've heard comments from folks on our commission before that overall fees for CalPERS are too high. And if you look at the last data I looked at was a couple of years old, but their total fees for management services were 31 basis points, 0.31% for the total portfolio. That is for an institutional portfolio doing both active and passive and having a fairly large allocation to private equity. That's not high. That's not high at all. The typical active manager charges somewhere between 50 and 100 basis points. Indexing can be done for as low as 4 or 5 basis points. So if you've got a mixture of active and passive, you're going to end up with somewhere between 25 and 50 basis points. One of the things we don't know, and this is, I can criticize CalPERS a little for their reporting, we don't know for sure that the private equity fees that are shown include the carried interest. The typical private equity fund has a fee structure of, let's say, 2 and 20. Maybe you charge 2% per year on assets invested, and then 20% of the profits made. So 2 and 20. It's easy to run the 2% in because that's a charge on an annual basis. The 20% interest on, or 20% of profits is something that continues down the line. And you've got to make sure that 20% is included as an expense. It's not clear that that's done. I'm assuming that CalPERS wouldn't make a dumb mistake like not including the 20%, but that's one of the questions we can ask them. But assuming that that data is correct, then the 31 basis points is a very reasonable fee. Their after-fee returns for private equity are really great. If it weren't for the volatility, we'd have every dollar included in a portfolio like that. So some parts of the article were a little over the top, but the idea of the retirees shadowing CalPERS and checking their returns and data is fine. I think it's a good idea. So it's something that it should help us to evaluate CalPERS on an ongoing basis to get that kind of information. So I think it's a good idea.
I think it'd be good too to better understand that 12% return, what's actually been returned when the LP kind of matured versus what's been marked to market and on paper. Because again, in private equity, it's pretty illiquid, and there's times when you can cash when it cashes out or the partnership matures, but some of it also just may be on paper in terms of that return. So that's the question: is what is the actual return, or what have we seen from a cash flow basis? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Woodham. Anyone else needs to discuss anything else? If not, then we can adjourn the meeting. All those in favor to adjourn the meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned at 7:33 p.m. Thank you.